Andrea here. I'm actually following Lane right now. Today is the last day to put out hay for the spring 2020 season. So Lane is pretty excited. Instead of putting out hay, now he'll be rotating cows. So I'm going with him because I saw something last night I want to go check out, and I want to take y'all with me. So let's go. Look at all that green. You can tell the difference between where they are and then where they're gonna go. They are gonna love it. All right, so you can see I'm back here at the pond. We actually have the pond down here, down there by the mule. We've got it actually roped off with hot wire so they can just barely get to it. But we did that because it's been about 12 days now that the mom was circling the pond and there was the big spots of blood. Looked like she'd had a calf, but we couldn't find a calf. So we roped it off just by chance that maybe the calf had fell in the pond, and we did not want that to ever happen again. We always knew there was a chance that something got the calf and that like a coyote or something came up and got it and drug it off. I really wasn't confident in that theory because it would take them a full-grown calf. I would just think that would be difficult for them to drag off all traces of it. And there was no signs of blood out through the woods. We tromped all through the woods. We looked and looked and looked, did everything we could to find it. But I couldn't see that it had just ran itself off in the pond either. But that was my gut instinct. And yesterday, 11 days after the initial incident, the calf floated. It makes us absolutely sick to think about that little calf drowned. We actually talked to people, and most farmers we talked to said that was very rare, but it had happened to almost everybody at least one time. Usually after one time you learn something and you do something about it, and so that's what we've done. We've roped it off from them. I wish we would have done it when that one a few weeks before had her calf on the pond bank, but we didn't. Hindsight is always 20/20. So we have roped it off now. I don't know if during calving seasons in the future if we'll ever give them access to a full pond like this again. It just literally tears at my heart to think about something drowning like that. So, but that mystery has been solved. And that mom is starting to dry up some, so that's good. She doesn't appear that she got mastitis or anything from being so full of milk. She did have a little bit of afterbirth hanging yesterday and the day before, so 10 and 11 days after she had it. Ben and I were actually able to come back here last night, and we wound up feeding them and driving right up to her, and he leaned off the front of the mule and quick as lightning he gave her the shot she needed, so that was awesome. We didn't have to get her up, so that was really good. Also, many of you have asked, what do we do when a cow dies? Or a calf or something like that? What do we do when an animal dies? So when we lose a cow or a calf or something like that, we definitely do not just leave it laying in the field with the rest of the animals. For one, that could draw predators. It definitely draws buzzards. The cow that got struck by lightning had buzzards on her pretty quickly, and then we got in there and got her out of there. And so we just pretty much have a designated area. We have to put those far away from the herd because it's just, you're either gonna bury them and they're gonna break down, or you're gonna put them somewhere far away from your herd, and you're gonna let the predators and the animals do what they do, which is decompose those things and turn that back into organic matter. So I know that's probably difficult to think about for some of you, and I understand because it is for me too, but I just wanted to be honest. Usually we just have a designated area that when a cow dies or something, we have to haul it back there and put it. So this is the baby's mom. She's hiding behind that hay bale looking at me. So we're trying to take all these experiences we're having with the cows and trying to do our best to not let things happen, but number one above that, even if they do, is learn from them so they don't happen again. So we've talked to a cattle rancher friend and about these several cases of retained placentas we've had, and basically they told us that right now in our area cattle have a magnesium deficiency. It's just the way it is when they've ate hay all winter. So when we put out minerals this next time, we're going to put out a high mag formula, that's what it's called, and hopefully that's going to take care of a lot of that. We knew something was going on. We've had just one too many cases, I guess you'd say. In the grand scheme of how many cows we had, we haven't had that many, but if we can prevent some of these, that would just be great. It's less shots we have to give them, less stressful times of us trying to get them up, and just time in general of us having to do it to try to take care of the problem, because we do a lot of these kinds of things that involve Ben at night when he gets off work, and sometimes that just gets downright tiring for him because he needs a little downtime. So anyway, this situation's resolved. I wanted to pass that on in case you have cows. It's time in the spring to start feeding the high mag mineral, and maybe that'll save you some of the headache. All right, so Lane and I are heading back to the house. He's with me right now and he's about to jump on the tractor. I'm gonna show y'all something up here, but I can't stop and take a whole lot of footage of it because it'd be really awkward. But there's a tree service coming through our area right now, trimming all the limbs and stuff off the power lines. And anytime you see those in your area, if you stop and talk to them and ask them what they're doing with the wood chips, they're usually always looking for somewhere to dump those. And so we gave them a spot, we showed them where, and just said, come and go as you please. They are making a mountain of wood chips for us, which is totally just all natural, organic type wood that they're chipping up, because it's from way up in the trees, just out in the middle of nowhere, that's growing up on the power lines. It's going to be perfect for compost. I'm really excited about it. But they've been sitting in our field for about 2 hours. I think their machine is broke or something. So I'm going to try to get a little drive-by footage for y'all, but I don't want to be the awkward person. For one thing, most people don't even know what our camera is when I'm holding it up. It's got a fuzzy mic on the top, and they usually think it's like some kind of stuffed animal or something. So they really think I was a lunatic if I start pointing that at them. Well, it turns out they're not broke down, they're stuck. I was afraid of that. They've recruited Lane to try to help them get pulled out, so we'll see how this goes. Well, that didn't work. Lane did not get them pulled out, but we've come home and loaded up more chains in the mule, and he's gone back to help them. I promise that kid is the hardest working teenager I've ever met. He's over there trying to help grown men get a truck unstuck, but he's super handy to have around. Look how good these little girls are doing. They are doing excellent. And there's Miss Katie. There's Miss Cuckoo. Yeah. She's got a sore on her face because she thought she could headbutt with the ram before we sold him. All right, so as you can see, the sheep are out in the yard. We're actually starting to rotate them now. Get them out of their pen, give them some fresh grass to eat. We have a lot of weeds in our yard in early spring, which the sheep love. They don't think of them as weeds, it's food to them. So they're enjoying it. We've already moved them several times. Just getting our yard eat down a little bit, and it's good for their feet to get them out of the muddy environment they were in. So it's a win-win for everybody. I thought y'all might want a little sneak peek of this girl. Miracle. Say hi to your fans. Say hi to your fans, girl. You're looking pretty today. Yeah. So as y'all can see, Miracle's actually wearing a halter now with a lead rope attached to it. She's actually wearing that all the time. We put it on her the first day, and then we've just kind of left it on her. That's how a lot of people train show animals, to lead by a halter and a rope, because they'll walk around with that and step on it, and it'll kind of pull on their head, and they learn really quickly not to fight that, and that if you pull on the rope, they'll come exactly where you want them to go. It's working out great. It gives us the ropes already on her if she acts up and wants to headbutt the baby. we can tie her up and let her eat, and then that gives him a chance to eat. That just goes further in getting her to accept him. She's doing better, but I told Ben the adoption papers have not been signed. It's not final yet because she won't let him just nurse all the time. Now, if she's eating or something, we don't even have to tie her up. She'll just stand there and let him nurse, but they've got a little ways to go yet. Last thing I'm going to do is go plant a few seeds in the garden, but just an update, they got the truck unstuck. Lane went over there with some chains and they got it. So I saw the guys over there cheering. I'm sure they've been sitting there for like 2 hours stuck. I didn't know if they were broke down or what. They've called in other trucks to try to get them unstuck and no luck, but Lane took long enough chains over there that the truck trying to pull them out was able to get up on the road instead of also in grass, and so they finally got out. So that situation's good. All right, so I'm down here at the end of the row where I planted onions. It goes all the way up there, and then I'm gonna finish out this row. I'm going to do a little hand tilling and get it loosened up, and I'm gonna plant this in all kinds of greens and salad things and radishes and turnips and all kinds of early stuff. It's not necessarily gonna be in a row, it's gonna be more in a section, and then all that stuff will be done early so I can plant something else for summer here later. All right, I got that worked up. I did all of that with just that little tool. I think I got that at TSC. It didn't cost very much. It's great for hand tilling. All right, y'all, I'm gonna go get this stuff stuck in the ground. Let me show you what I'm planting. I'm planting 3 different types of radishes: the white hailstone, the German giant, and the muncher. These are all from Baker Creek. I'm planting a variety of Baker Creek and Haas Tool seeds this year. We've been really pleased with Haas Tool seeds this year. They're really excellent as far as their germination. So most of these I'm planting right here are Baker Creek, and then I'm gonna plant some Haas Tool seeds over in another area. But I'm really excited to try this. It's the Rocky Top Salad Blend. Kevin and Sarah have recommended this before, the Rocky Top lettuce. And then I'm gonna plant, I really like this. This is just speckled lettuce from Baker Creek. I've grown this for several years. Fell in love with Mizuna last year. I'm gonna plant this Bloomsdale spinach, and then I'm gonna plant this, I'm gonna call it Auric. It's really beautiful for one thing. It's a relative of spinach, but it's resistant to bolting. It can take some more heat than spinach can. So I'm really excited to grow that. Plus I just really like the color of it. So what I wound up doing is I kind of put the radishes down through there in a row, and then I sprinkled the salad mixes around on the outsides. I kind of want this to just be a patch of greens, not necessarily just one well-defined row. I'm trying to utilize all my space this year and grow as much food as possible. It really doesn't take a huge space to grow quite a bit of food, and that's one thing I want to get across to y'all this year. Whatever space you have, you can grow something. You can grow some of your food for your family. So don't be discouraged if you don't have acres and acres to grow a garden on. That's okay, just work with what you have. And I would say cover the ground. If you only have a couple small raised beds, cover the ground with things you can eat. You can grow tomatoes growing vertically and then plant things on the ground under those that will grow just fine. So look into that, look into companion planting and things like that. That will really help you maximize your space. All right, last thing for today before I let y'all go, I'm gonna get some sugar snaps stuck in the ground. I'm gonna plant some of these sugar anns from Baker Creek. We've planted these before and like them, and I'm gonna give these green arrow peas a try from Haas Tools. So I'm actually gonna plant these where I just planted broccoli and cauliflower back here. We left a little gap between the row covers, and I'm actually gonna plant them in that little gap. That's planned for tomatoes, but I'm a ways away from planting tomatoes, and so I'm gonna go ahead and plant these. I might get tomatoes started in between them as well. This has a trellis almost the whole row. We took a couple of them down for a sheep pen. They're about to get put back up, and this whole row, that's why all those T-posts are there, will have a trellis. And so these love to grow up. Last year is the first time I had actually trellised these, and they did the best ever. They grow up, you can just stand beside them and pick them. It's wonderful. Look at these beauties out here getting some warm, fresh air. Look who's out to play. All right, guys, well, I'm going to let you go. I have done my day's work. The animals are fed, all that kind of stuff. Still in quarantine here at VW Family Farm. How about y'all? Y'all staying in, finding things to keep you busy? I hope some of you are planting and planning your first garden, maybe ever. I think that's so awesome. Let me know if you're doing that and how it's going. If you have questions, you need help, I'd love to answer whatever questions you have if I can. So that's it for today here at VW Family Farm, and I will see you guys later. Be watching tomorrow. We were super honored to be asked to film a video about how to raise beef cows. It's all about raising food. It's put on by the Homesteaders of America, all different topics that people they felt like were knowledgeable in, to make videos for all of you that are interested in raising more of your own food, because this whole crisis that our country has gone through, I think, has just reiterated the importance of being able to provide for yourself to some degree. So be watching for that. Ours comes out tomorrow. We're really excited to share that with y'all, and we'll see you guys later. God bless.